So the question is, did Ready or Not even need a sequel? Because the first one felt like lightning in a bottle. It had the perfect mix of satire, horror, and just enough chaos to make it feel unpredictable. It was self-aware in a way that didn't feel forced, and it just worked. And for a long time, it kind of lived in that space of being a really solid hidden gem. People appreciated it, but it wasn't always sitting on the top of their lists. Then the sequel gets announced, and suddenly everyone remembers how much they liked it. Now, walking out of Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, I'm kind of split. Because I did have a good time, I really did, but this is one of those situations where you start comparing it immediately to the first one. And that's where things get tricky. The tone is different. The first film had this sharp, tongue-in-cheek energy that carried everything. This one leans heavier, not in a bad way, but in a way that shifts the experience. It takes the concept more seriously, and because of that, it loses a little bit of that playful edge that made the original stand out. Now, to be clear, there are some really clever moments in here. There's humor that lands. There are twists that keep things moving. And the ending works. It's smart, it commits, and it gives you something to chew on. But overall, I kept coming back to the same thought. I like the first one more. Not because this one fails, but because the original just had a cleaner identity. It knew exactly what it was and never let go of it. And this one expands the world. We pick up right after everything falls apart in the first film, and now the story opens up into something bigger. Now you've got multiple powerful families, this larger system at play, and the idea of control over who gets to sit at the top. And that's where the movie starts getting interesting, because it leans into the rules of the game. There's structure now. There's oversight. Elijah Wood comes in as the kind of rule enforcer, making sure everything plays out the way it's supposed to. And honestly, that part is fun. It adds tension in a different way. It's less about chaos and more about how the system operates. And then you've got the added twist with the bloodline. If someone goes down during the game, the next in line steps in. And that opens the door to a lot of shifting dynamics. Alliances change, motivations change, and the game keeps evolving as it goes. That's where the sequel finds its identity. Not in recreating the first film, but building out the mythology behind it. And I respect that. But at the same time, that shift comes with a cost, because the more you explain, the less mysterious it becomes. And part of what made the first one hit the way it did was somehow simple and direct, it felt. Survive the night. That was it. Here, there's more going on. More moving parts, more rules. And depending on what you're looking for, that's either going to pull you in or create a little distance. Now, Samara Weaving is still doing exactly what you want her to do. She carries this thing. You stay locked in with her the whole time. And bringing her sister into the mix gives the story a different emotional angle, even if it's not always the focus. And then you've got David Cronenberg showing up, which, look, anytime he pops up in a film, I'm just in. It's just one of those things where his presence alone adds something to the experience. So where do I land on it? I don't think this is a bad sequel. I don't think people are going to walk out of this feeling like they missed the mark completely. I think most people are going to land right around where I am. I had a good time. I just like the first one more. That's okay. Not every sequel has to top the original. Sometimes it just needs to give you another ride in that world. And this does that. It leans more into the system, the power structure, the idea of control and inheritance, the whole most dangerous game concept, but wrapped in this satirical, almost absurd take on wealth and tradition. You've seen versions of this before. That's not new, and what makes this work is the tone it chooses, even if it's a different tone than the first. So yeah, I'll watch these back to back, and I think that's the best way to approach it, not as a replacement for the original, but as an expansion to it. I'd be curious to see where this one lands for you. Do you stick with the first, or does the sequel work for you on its own terms? Appreciate you going on this film journey with me, and as always, be real.
I'm not playing.
Okay. Prunella, kill the sister.